We are live at the Oakland Raiders versus Denver Broncos game. The feeling is intense, the barbecues are lit, and the beer is flowing. And we are going to get crazy, and we are going to win, and we're going to interview a lot of people today and show them what's up with the Raider Nation, even though you are not recording.
The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash, with a silver hat about his head, and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
Welcome to AccesSports. This past week in the NFL was pretty explosive. NFL Week 5, lots of great games, a bunch of overtime.
Lots of blowouts. We had some big blowouts.
The Bay Area was basically blown out of the water. I mean, other than that, great NFL weekend.
Yeah, it was really good.
Before we get into this NFL weekend, let's take a look at some NFL news.
Let's go with Raider news. First, we got Randy Hansen speaking out on Tom Cable officially through Mike Silver on Yahoo Sports. Basically, he'd gone and spoke and said that he thought Tom Cable was going to kill him. He was running his mouth a bunch of different things. So Tom Cable in his press conference still said that he is telling the truth and that he believes in the justice system. So we got to see how that works out.
Basically the way he's sticking to his story almost seems like no one's going to really back up Hansen.
Yeah.
And I think that he knows he's pretty confident that his story's going to stick, and that's what's going to happen.
I think that's what it is. Maybe he's not telling the truth, but he believes that.
He didn't punch himself in the jaw.
No, he didn't.
I think we talked about this last week. Patriots 100% brought back Junior Seau for a one-year deal. It's his 20th NFL season. Patriots defense, their linebackers and definitely their secondary are really hurting right now.
Well, you know what happened was that Matt Castle trade really went and bit him in the rear because when they got rid of Matt Castle, they got rid of Mike Vrabel also. So, and then Teddy Bruschi retired. So I think they weren't thinking ahead. So now they're missing some key.
Oh yeah, O.J. Mayo just came back this past weekend. So
Gerard Mayo.
Man, I get messed up on the names.
USC.
Yeah, they just they definitely need help on defense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's a great pickup. It's his third year in a row he's done it, so I think it's a good pickup.
All right, what else?
We got Braylon Edwards traded to the Jets. To the Jets from the Browns. That was huge. Last night in the game, he really came alive.
Yeah, no, Braylon Edwards definitely playing a lot different than he did on the Browns.
3 catches. He had a touchdown. He could have had 2 touchdowns, but one was challenged. I think it was huge. They gave up Chauncey Stuckey. I feel bad for that guy, having to go to the Browns, especially when he's on the Jets.
It's the NFL.
Yeah, they get in a 3rd and 5th round pick. So what do you think?
They gave up a lot, but they got a premier receiver that everyone's looking for in the draft. So
they didn't have to give first round picks.
Mark Sanchez definitely needs a number 1 receiver around him, and he finally got one.
Absolutely.
Other news: Willie Parker, Troy Polamalu, back from nursing their sore egos. The Steelers kind of picking back up. They haven't really. They're 2-2, I think, or
they're 3-2.
3-2. They lost defensive end Aaron Smith, to shoulder surgery for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's a big loss. They need Troy Polamalu back.
No, definitely. Their secondary does not have a face without Polamalu in the lineup.
Or big bushy hair running around the field.
Yeah, pretty much. So NFL Week 5, basically there's a bunch of big games. We had to pick one each. I picked the New England at Denver game.
That was a great game. That was one of those games where you're looking at both games and you're like, I don't like the Patriots. Despise the Broncos. But you got to go for the Patriots, right? Because they're not in our division.
I hope for ties in situations like that. I
didn't think about that.
No, but New England had the game going into half. It's up 17-7. Even with their bruised secondary, they're still looking. They look to win the game. But Josh McDaniels, really came back in the second half. The Broncos defense, give them credit for really shutting out the Patriots for the rest of the game.
Well, Josh McDaniels ran that offense for a long time.
Yeah.
So, and there's one thing that the Patriots didn't have going in the second half, and that was the crowd behind them. So 12th man.
Well, that's true. But one thing for the Patriots, Wes Welker, even though he's been playing with an injured knee, I mean, really stepped up this weekend.
Yeah, he did. He's got unbelievable hands.
I mean, really, this game was even matched. I mean, throughout the whole time, even though that Patriots were up 17-7 at halftime, it was evenly matched as far as stats. Both teams rushed for about 100 yards. Denver passed for about 100 more passing yards. But as far as turnovers, time possession, everything was.
What's up with Kyle Orton? The guy's awesome.
You know, it's just.
I mean, he really is. He's doing a great job.
No, it's the team around him. I mean, that just shows. I mean, who knows? Jamarcus Russell might be a good player if he went to a better team. I mean, it's hard to say.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, basically, they're very even matched, and this is one thing that I wish the NFL would change is their overtime rules because really, statistically, it comes down to a coin flip. You know, I think both teams are really matched, and if they did the college system where, you know, they start at the 30 and they move in and, you know, they kind of match field goals
like
touchdowns.
They do in the new UFL or whatever it is.
I think it's, you know, they're not basing the whole decision on a coin flip.
Well, and then just to close that out, you know, it's funny because when we watch these overtime games, whenever there's a future Hall of Fame quarterback, that's when we speak of it. Last year when it was Indianapolis and San Diego and Peyton Manning, you know, I think that if the Patriots would have gotten the ball and Tom Brady would have gone out there and drove him down for a touchdown, I don't know if we'd really be focused on it. But because it seems like, you know, the great quarterback isn't getting a chance to go back on the field, I think it's really sticking.
Well, it doesn't really give the other chance. I mean, they say, you know, a team plays to come back, right?
Exactly.
They say they're down, you know, 17-7, you know, and they come back and they tie it up and they take it to overtime. And then all that fight, they lose a coin flip, and then, you know, good kickoff return, 2 good running plays, and 1 good passing, and bam, they kick a field goal.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
it's you know, I don't know if they're going to change it anytime soon. I know that it's something Roger Goodell talked about.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something that needs to be attended to.
All right, well, next up we got the Jets at Miami for your Monday night game.
You know, I love Monday Night Football. Everyone loves Monday Night Football. It's a divisional game, so you expected a decent game. But, you know, Miami Dolphins are not what they were last year. But just what a good game. I mean, it was great. It was back and forth. You know, not a lot of defense.
No.
You know, the Miami Dolphins ran all over the Jets, which is very surprising considering that the Jets are a top 5 against the run. Ronnie Brown, Ricky Williams, combined for over 200 yards.
No one can stop that. You know, every team tries to implement that Wildcat system, but no one runs it like Miami.
No, they got a lot going on. And I kind of noticed, you got to think for a second it might interrupt the offense because you have Chad Henne, who's only been in 2 games. He's a young quarterback. It's only his 2nd year. And to see them run the Wildcat for 4 plays and then come in and still be able to connect with his receivers, I mean, man, Chad Henne is one of those guys he might be a jewel.
We joked about him, I think, last week or the week before about, you know, who is he? It's a nobody coming through. But, I mean, I was watching his decisions, his throwing. I mean, he has the arm to throw the ball. He has the accuracy to make the passes.
He does, yeah.
And I was surprised of just how well he played.
Well, Jake Long, the left tackle, their franchise left tackle, has a lot of confidence in him. He actually played with him in Michigan. And, you know, I don't know, this Chad Henne guy, you know, the Dolphins can come alive. That's a very tough division.
He looked pretty good against the Jets. And, you know, one thing that have caused the Jets to win most of their games and give Mark Sanchez some time is their defense. And, you know, the Jets defense had 0 sacks, 0 interceptions, 0 fumbles. And so, I mean, you kind of look at that to disrupt the Miami offense, disrupt Chad Henne. You know, they're unable to do that.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, the crowd was behind him. You know, we always, you know, kind of bring that up, but it was true. You know, there's a lot of, especially when you got a rookie quarterback like Mark Sanchez calling some of the audibles when it's that loud, it's tough.
Well, you know what's the big surprise number from all the stats in the game is the Miami Dolphins had 64% third down conversion ratio. I mean, that's huge. Yeah, I mean, their defense isn't getting off the field. I mean, that's, you know, the Jets must have been tired, but Mark Sanchez, he still looked okay.
Yeah, no, he did. He did a great job. I mean, we're talking about a game that ended 31-27 with 6 seconds left. So it was definitely a gunslinging type of game where, you know, they went back and forth.
Well, you know what other game was down to the wire? It's the Bengals, you know, at the Ravens.
Yeah, the Bengals should be 5-0 right now. Yeah, and I know how we say should be. They shouldn't be, but with that, you know, that whole thing in Denver.
Well, you know, a lot of people, especially Raider fans, always say, well, the Raiders could have won if they'd have done this. But, I mean, if you think about it, the Bengals did what they needed to do on defense. It's just it was a deflection that tipped up, and, you know, they caught it and ran for a touchdown.
They have a tip drill for that, so, I mean, it does have teams prepared for that.
Moving into another great defensive team that didn't do so well defensively this weekend is the Raiders at the Giants. Most people knew going into this game that the Raiders were overmatched. I mean, especially their offense to the Giants' defense. I mean, the Raiders' offense, aside from still not reaching 200 yards for a game, really just could not put anything together. I mean, it was
they couldn't.
Jamarcus Russell fumbling the ball 3 times. You know, even though he was